Hello and welcome back to the 100 Baby Challenge. This time I'm gonna build a new home for our new matriarch. Last episode our youngest daughter has aged up, Diana she's called, into a young adult, and it's her time to shine now. So she's getting a new house. Her aspiration when she grew up was to be a master vampire, the knowledge aspiration. But she looked up some vampire information on the internet and she decided no, that's not for her. But she's still a little bit of a drama queen. At least that's how I see her. So I want this house to reflect that. I went on the internet as one does and looked for inspiration. I went with a bit of a Victorian kind of house. It's not exactly Victorian, but it is dramatic that way. This house is one floor because that is so much easier for gameplay. I do not want to play with multiple floors. It has 3 bedrooms, one for a matriarch Diana, one for the toddlers and one for the children and teens. Our old matriarch Sarah will still be living here because she got so many skills. I don't want her to move away. She can help out. She does take up a slot in the household, but I think it is worth it. Sarah does not need a bedroom because she's got the never weary trait, which means that she barely needs to sleep, and if she does, she can just use Diana's bed, of course. Here I'm working on the porch. I wanted to wrap around the shape of the house. The house has a little bit of a bump out. I really like that. It made it look a little bit more dramatic. The house is built in Strangerville, so we might encounter some strange things, and maybe Sarah will work on solving the Strangerville mystery if she's got some time anywhere. I honestly don't know yet. I am a bit struggling with the roof. The reference picture had a roof on top of a roof, and we can't really do that in The Sims. I'm gonna fix it later on. It's gonna look a bit differently because this just looks silly. So I'm just making a sphere here above the porch. I am starting with a chimney here, and I want a fireplace, but the fireplace doesn't really fit in the rest of the house, so I'm gonna delete this later on. I am trying to find the right color for the outside. The reference picture I had brick and white wood on the outside, so that is what I am gonna do here. As you see, for now I went with the red brick with the white wood, but I thought the red brick was a little bit too much, so I'm gonna change that. The deck is all wooden, and I'm looking for the right door to fit here. And we are living in Strangerville, and the Strangerville doors and windows are my absolute favorites, so they are being used here. I am a bit struggling with the color scheme. I do like those vampire bricks on the outside a lot better than the red ones, and I'm using some stone on the floor because I think it suits better with the rest. The reference picture had green doors and windows, but I thought it was a little bit too much. I really like the light blue ones. The whole color scheme of the house will be light blue and pink, as those colors are often used when you are dealing with babies. I mean, green is often used as well. And of course we need a white picket fence to keep the crazy people from Strangerville out. And a really small gate. This comes with this fence. I don't really like it, and now I'm placing plants and I'm realizing I'm working in winter. It is winter now, so all the plants look dead, which is a bit of a shame, but it should look really nice when we enter spring again. Just placing some daisy bushes. Maybe when we enter spring I need to redo some of the landscaping. But I did the best I could for now. Of course I could have cheated the seasons, but I didn't want to mess with the gameplay. This house does not have a garage, so I am building a shed in the backyard where all the school projects go and a lot of skill building items. In the last house we used the garage a lot for that kind of stuff. Oh, and also placing an extra bathroom on the end because the house only has one bathroom, and I thought it was a little not enough. And this door from Cats and Dogs looks really shed-like, so I just place it here. And I'm going into the inventory and placing everything. We've got skill building stuff in here. We've got the karaoke machine that Sarah got with, I believe, with Winterfest. And here in the house I'm gonna place all Strangerville dolls. Now this is the extra bathroom. I wanted it to have 2 bathroom stalls and 2 showers. Last house we did have more, but I never really used all of them at the same time. So this will absolutely be enough, especially because we've got another bathroom where there will be a bath so we can bathe the toddlers. I am really doubting whether or not I'm gonna add laundry to this build. For now I am not doing it, but I will in the end. Of course, we've got our bunk beds. Last house we got 6 places for the children to sleep, which was proven to be enough. Sometimes all the beds were occupied, sometimes just a few of them, and of course I needed to use those modular closets. I just think they are so pretty. I will change the color though. And I'm using Strangerville windows again, and I am using a lot of CC in here. The floor and the wallpaper are all CC. I am gonna place this house on the gallery, but just so you know, you need to check the CC box, and if you do not have the same CC I do, some of the things will be gone, so you need to replace them. I am pre-recording this, so this house has been on the gallery for a while now. If you have seen it, I put the word spoiler alert in the description. Here I'm placing 2 toddler beds. Sarah never had triplets, just twins, so I am counting on Diana to do the same, but if she doesn't, we do have some room to add another toddler bed in here. I'm making a reading nook because I find reading to the toddlers increases their imagination skill really fast. And of course we need potties. I love this carpet, by the way. It's also CC. I think it's so cute. That toy box is from a Ravishing. It looks like the toy box we have in the game, only this one is functional. There are actually toys in here that they can play with. And I'm just placing some toys everywhere. The overall theme is still pink and blue. I really do not know what to do with that huge tent and the puppet theater, but I'll figure it out in the end. Here we've got the second bathroom with a bath for the toddlers. And I am deciding now that I do want laundry because I like to torture myself. This thing will break, it will cause fires, it will be awesome. And of course some blinds for the windows and a toilet. And now I'm looking through the wallpapers, and I'm using the Snowy Escape one here because I love them. You can't use them in all houses, but this is a house filled with children and I think it's really appropriate. In the last house Sarah had a sleeping pod, so I wanted to give Diana one too. I went for the more expensive one because I believe this one is fully upgraded, and we got money. Sarah made so much money with selling paintings. It was ridiculous. I don't think Diana has to work. I mean, she does need to have a few jobs for her aspiration. According to the 100 Baby Challenge rules, she can have a job as long as it's work from home. And I am making this a bit extra, I mean with the curtains and all, just to fit Diana's personality. She is a bit extra. She is dressed all goth and she has wild crazy hair, and yeah, I already love her. And of course we needed those trees back in the shed. I'm going for a light wooden floor. I think that's really pretty. I'm closing off the chimney and now I'm gonna place a fireplace. In the end it won't work out. I'm gonna have to delete the fireplace and the chimney. I'm trying to create a bit of separation between a play area and the living area, but it makes everything look really, really small. I'm really struggling with the puppet theater and the tent. I have no idea where I should put them. I'm using one of the bay window couches. We've got quite a few of them and I like putting them in. It doesn't fit perfectly, but I think it's good enough. I am using matching couches for here. There is plenty of place to sit, and this is where it started to look weird. The fireplace, the puppet theater and the TV, it didn't make any sense, so I made a decision to delete the fireplace and the chimney and just have a seating area. I have placed the tent against the back of one of the couches, which I think was nice, and the puppet theater a bit off of the sitting area so the children can play with it. And of course lots of plants because they always liven the place up. Here I am working on the kitchen. This fridge is from a CC pack that is made by the Licorice and Little Dika. That fridge is 20,000 simoleons. But we have so much money, I'm not even noticing spending it. The fridge is fully upgraded, which is a huge plus in this house. It won't break as often. And the whole kitchen is from the same CC set. I think it's really, really pretty. I'm using those counters to create a little bit of separation between the living area and the kitchen, but it's not closed off. I think that looks nice. This CC set also came with those mirrors and this window. That's just perfect. And of course we need a money making trash can. We not really need it, but it's just handy so you don't have to fill up the trash can here and then empty it outside and all that kind of stuff. Just putting some clutter here. And those bar stools came with the last pack, and here I'm working on the entryway. I want a place for people to hang their coats when they come in, and of course I'm going for the modular stuff again. I have the shoes. I have some shoes on the floor with a backpack and some shoes on top in the shelves. And now that entryway is just looking a bit strange. I'm gonna work on that. It's gonna look a lot stranger. a lot stranger. I wanted a dining area here, and I'm using a lot of CC again here. I'm not very sure from which pack they are, but they are really, really pretty. A wooden table with 8 chairs. I'm not gonna put in a hard chair because that gameplay with it, if you have one toddler it's okay, especially if you don't have much else to do, but yeah, Sims just keep placing toddlers in them and it's really annoying. I wanted some big statement piece here in the center of the entryway and I went with this fountain. I know it's crazy, it's a bit much, and I am totally forgetting to place the baby certificates in here. I am aware. I will go back in and place them. I already have, but I've done it off camera. Just, it's a bit boring to do to do on camera. So there's a lot of baby certificates, but they are in here, and I have realized that I have forgotten to place that open the refrigerator where toddlers can take out food themselves. I will put it in before the next episode, so that's what's gonna happen. I have placed a lot of woohoo bushes on the side just because I thought it was funny, and we've got a pool in here. It might be a death trap, it's certainly a possibility, but it might make this challenge a little bit more interesting. I'm placing some of the fountain things in here, just going to live mode to see if it doesn't look weird. It looks a little bit weird, but this whole house is weird. I quite like it actually. And just doing some landscaping. I'm looking for stuff to place here to not make it look boring. Again, I do have to go back once it is spring or summer just to adjust it a little bit. It's hard to tell if it's gonna look good or not. I'm gonna place some more hoo-hoo bushes here on the side. I've also placed a wishing well over there, you might have seen it. I know there are certain rules about how you can use it during this challenge, so I need to read up on that. But I know you can use it for some stuff, to ask for money and ask for love, ask for a baby. You probably aren't allowed to ask for a baby when you're playing this challenge, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna check up on the rules. Just placing a bit more terrain paint around to give the whole build a little bit more depth. And I think we are finished with the build. Yes, here are the screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please press like, as it really helps out me and my channel. I will post the next 100 baby challenge next Saturday, so keep your eyes open for that. I also got a Rags to Riches challenge. The next episode of that one will be live next Wednesday, and a link to that will be on screen. So I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.